Welcome to Santa Clara, California, in the San Francisco Bay Area and the Levi's Stadium, home of the San Francisco 49ers since 2014, and tonight the venue for a meeting of two of European football's biggest names as AC Milan face FC Barcelona in what is both clubs' final match of this summer's International Champions Cup. AC Milan arrive having been beaten 1-0 by Tottenham in their last game. They lost a marathon penalty shootout to Manchester United before that. They're up against a Barcelona side this evening that have also suffered one defeat and had one draw from their two matches thus far. And both teams boasting a selection of new signings. Three of Barcelona's have been in fine form for them. After this, it's the Spanish Super Cup for Barca against Sevilla. Well, let's get some pre-match thoughts from both of the camps ahead of kickoff.
Hello, I want to ask you especially about the conclusions. Now the pre-season is arriving to an end.
No, siamo molto contenti per come siamo stati, per le prestazioni che abbiamo fatto. Non abbiamo pensato solo a giocare ma anche a lavorare con continuità. Dopo questa partita daremo 2 giorni di riposo alla squadra e dopo ci vedremo l'8 a Milanello, l'11 come con Real Madrid e dopo comincia la settimana tipo per l'inizio del campionato. Ma siamo molto soddisfatti per come siamo stati e per come abbiamo lavorato.
Afrontamos el último partido de esta pretemporada. ¿Qué conclusiones saca el cuerpo técnico?
Bueno, hemos podido trabajar con la gente joven, que genera mucha ilusión entre nosotros mismos y entre el público en general. El trabajo ha sido muy agradable porque ellos se han entregado a fondo, han ido demostrando su mejora en los días y claro, han tenido que afrontar retos más difíciles de los que a los que habitualmente se suelen enfrentar. Estamos muy contentos de su rendimiento, de su actitud y del futuro que nos puede deparar en el club.
So the stage is set at the Levi's Stadium, just over 60,000 capacity. We're expecting a very good attendance, as we have had throughout this International Champions Cup, which just goes from strength to strength as an international tournament of footballing excellence. And speaking of excellence, plenty of that on show this evening as AC Milan look to try and sign off with a victory. Suso will be under the microscope following the arrival of Gonzalo Higuain, who's not in the team or travelled with the squad for this one, but he will know his place could be in jeopardy. Hakan Çalhanoğlu will be looking to add to what was a tidy performance against Tottenham Hotspur, but without really hitting the heights that he showed towards the tail end of last season for Milan. Fabio Borini, another of the starters against Tottenham, had a couple of chances which he didn't really take, and he will also know that with Higuain joining the party, his position could be under a bit of threat. Well, new arrivals have dominated the storyline for AC Milan with what we mentioned about Higuain arriving. There is one of the additions that Barca have made over the summer, and Arthur has made a very strong start to his career with the Blaugrana as well. So many of their big stars still taking a breather after the World Cup. Malcolm is a man who was in demand. They got hold of him, and he is another that is impressed in the brief passages of play we have seen him in so far. A more experienced campaigner is Sergi Roberto, who is certainly taking the opportunity afforded to him by a lot of those big stellar names still recuperating from their exertions in Russia. Confirmation of how things have gone so far. You will notice that both teams started off with a draw after 90 minutes and then a defeat after 90 minutes. Barca edging their penalty shootout against Tottenham Hotspur, while Milan were beaten by Manchester United in their spot kick conclusion. The team of match officials headed up by Baldomero Toledo, and as you can see, we are almost good to go at the Levi's Stadium. Alongside me for this one is Clive Allen, and Clive, two teams that have famous names, but AC Milan are the side that are looking to try and get back to somewhere near their best, whereas Barcelona have been the best for so long.
Yeah, there's no doubt that AC Milan, great history, but suffered the last few years, not been as prominent in Serie A or European football. A rebuilding job that Gattuso has been given the helm to do. But for me, Barcelona, again, with so many of their star players missing, a big opportunity for their youngsters to impress, and new acquisitions as well. So an intriguing encounter in prospect.
So AC Milan and Barcelona, two famous clubs, and both are in their traditional strips as well this evening, which is always nice to see. The red and black of the Rossoneri against the red and blue of Barca. These players will be looking to make the most of the opportunity afforded to them this evening. As I mentioned, the headlines in Italy dominated by the new acquisitions that will be arriving. Leonardo Bonucci has made his way back to Juventus, but Higuain and Caldera have arrived. There was also the interesting subplot of Barcelona landing Arturo Vidal, who was a player that Gennaro Gattuso coveted as well, but they were unable to convince him to make the move to the San Siro. Well, these sides have met on a number of occasions, Champions League finals and the like between them. It's always a special affair when two of the biggest names in world football get together. Confirmation of our team of match officials, which is headed up by Baldomero Toledo, assisted by Michael Campionet and Chris Elliott, and Turan Ozdemir is the fourth official. Romagnoli is the Milan skipper, man very much in demand, Alessio Romagnoli, and his importance to the side will be further accentuated by the departure of Bonucci back to Juventus. Sergio Roberto skippering the Barcelona side for this one. Well, let's have a look at the two lineups. One of the Milan changes from the defeat to Spurs comes in goal as Gianluigi Donnarumma replaces Reina. Meanwhile, Ricardo Rodriguez steps into the back four in place of Ignacio Abate. The arrival of Mattia Caldera and Gonzalo Higuain from Juventus will certainly leave some of those in the side feeling they need to show Gattuso exactly what they can do tonight. The substitutes bench as well, André Silva, who is still yet to really prove his worth, and with Higuain coming in, he will be feeling the burn even more. It's the Barca side that many expected, bar perhaps just the fact that at the back they have decided to go with Miranda rather than Cucurella. Malcolm, Arthur and Clement Legley have all impressed, and the trio are in a strong starting lineup, which has been the general pattern from Ernesto Valverde, with some of the youngsters drafted in around the 70-minute mark. And as you can see there, a collection of some Barca B players and youngsters in the ranks, and we would expect them to enter the fray maybe around the hour or 70-minute mark. That's certainly been the way it has panned out so far. Baldomero Toledo is the man in the middle, and he is pretty much ready to rock, as are we. Milan will get us off and underway, kicking from left to right. Two of the biggest names in the game going head-to-head at the Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, and what is the final match of this summer's International Champions Cup for both AC Milan and FC Barcelona. Delighted to have Clive Allen alongside me for this one. Neither side have managed a victory so far in 90 minutes, an opportunity for both of them to finish with a flourish in the sunshine.
Yeah, there's no doubt that a win must be on the agenda for both of these sides.
And an early chance which is just hit wide by Donnarumma. In fact, he didn't get Anything on it is what he's insisting, but Barcelona almost ahead inside of the opening minute, and Donnarumma did get a touch. It's one of those where the keeper maybe wants the credit but also doesn't want to concede the corner.
Yeah, but that's a good stop because he's sharp down to his right hand side. The early pressure coming from Barcelona, snapshot, well tipped round by Donnarumma.
So the corner is going to be taken by Arthur, one of those new signings who has impressed. Donnarumma hasn't impressed there and gets away with it. Well, two close shaves for Milan inside the first minute or so.
Yeah, very, very fortunate is Donnarumma because he comes to claim the in-swinging corner, completely misses it. They're just not able to get contact at the back post there, Barcelona.
Donnarumma's clearance is swept upfield. Early pass now looking for Suso. Suso, the Spaniard. Locatelli forwards, and Calabria's in a good position. Well, it's been a very open start so far, and half a chance there for Milan.
Yeah, good build-up down the right. Calabria's delivery's a good one, outside of the right boot, flashing it across the face of the goal. But Cotrone just can't get in a position to get on the end of it. He went very close in a couple of occasions against Spurs, but just couldn't find the back of the net, the centre forward. I think you can see already that there are two teams that have come on for the two games they've already played. There's an intensity about the way they've started this game.
Here's Malcolm, man who was wanted by Roma, but Barcelona nipped in at the last minute to sign him, and he nearly nipped in with a dangerous cross there. Well, we saw the Milan game against Tottenham Hotspur, and it took a while to come to life, but Gennaro Gattuso will, I don't know if he'll be concerned or pleased with how open the match has been so far.
Well, I think it'd be a little bit alarmed that these team have given up one or two opportunities already. Certainly Donnarumma's save, the very first attacking phase from Barcelona. But it's an important game, I think, in terms of their preparations. You can see already that there's a real intensity in the way that both teams are playing. Physically, they'll be in better condition. Mentally, certainly getting ready for the up-and-coming domestic seasons that they face.
Semedo has sent that through cleverly. Here is Malcolm. Sergi Roberto. Nelson Semedo sent it on. And is looking for the foul, which he doesn't get. Here's Clement Lenglet, one of the trio of new signings that start again today. Semedo sends it forwards. Nice turn that from Rafinha. Crowd like that as well. Arthur.
Very slick, moving the ball quickly, Barcelona.
Miranda's ball in, not really dealt with by Romagnoli. Well, he's a man that's been very much in demand, Alessio Romagnoli. Apparently Chelsea had a €40 million bid for him turned down earlier on this month. He's going to be even more important for them. Now Bonucci has gone.
Well, Valverde would be happy, but Romagnoli took a chance there. He just ducked under the cross. He's very fortunate that, again, there's no one at the back post to take advantage.
Santos came to meet that, and here is Marlon Santos now. Lenglet. Santos. Sergi Roberto. Really good tempo and pace from Barcelona, and a bit too much pace on that pass for Malcolm to chase down.
But it's Bright dominating possession, meaning that Milan have dropped away, just trying to defend in numbers, stay compact.
One thing we did notice about Milan against Tottenham is they tried to play the ball out from the back a few times and nearly came a cropper for it.
Just like this, Mark, and again, you can see that they're almost inviting the pressure. You've got to be brave, you've got to be bold, but the one thing you don't want to be dispossessed in that final third. Especially a team of quality of Barcelona.
Well, the Tottenham goal in that previous game as well came about from an error. Calabria giving the ball away, and Nkudu punished him by rifling into the top corner. They played themselves into trouble here as well. Excellent pass from Miranda, was begging to have someone on the end of it.
Really smart. the interplay down the left-hand side. Malcolm with a really good ball into the 18-yard box. And again, the cross flashing across the face of the goal.
Well, they collapsed late on against Roma in their last game, Barcelona. They were leading 2-1 through goals from Rafinha and Malcolm, but 3 goals in the final 12 minutes saw them suffer a 4-2 loss to Italian opposition. They've started well against their Serie A foes today, though.
Well, they're on the front foot. They're pressing high, as we can see here. Not allowing Milan to play out comfortably. They need maybe just to go a little bit longer. Donnarumma taking chances, trying to play short passes out. Maybe just needs to bypass that early pressure that Barcelona are exerting.
It's the final match of this summer's International Champions Cup for both of these teams. The tournament just growing and growing, really, since it was founded in 2013. 18 of the top clubs in the world playing 27 matches in 22 cities across the globe, and you get the feeling that it's only going to get bigger and better in the future.
It's a prestigious tournament of real quality, and we've seen that with a number of the sides, obviously blooding their young players, and you can see the quality that they possess throughout the European sides. Some wonderful young talent emerging.
Here is a very good young talent in the shape of Malcolm. Arthur, referee, had to take evasive action there. Rafinha. Now Longley. Miranda. Well, no doubt about it, Barcelona have settled into the game the quicker.
Yeah, and you can hear Gattuso in that technical area. He's urging his players to get forward quicker, press higher. But that, again, asks questions, because technically so good Barcelona, they'll play round you and through you. You have to be very, very careful of how and when to go and press this Barcelona side.
Malcolm has been the major outlet for them, but on this occasion Rafinha opted to go the other way. Here's Miranda now for Barcelona, though. Longley. Here's Marlon Santos. Nelson Semedo. And looking for the return. Doesn't get it, but does get the free kick.
Yeah, just holding the ball. Rodriguez grabbing. And immediately they're back in possession. Milan dropping back into their own half, allowing the 2 central defenders of Barcelona no pressure, can just move the ball comfortably from side to side.
Sergio Roberto pulling the strings so far. Semedo. And again, it's the left wing that they're looking to cause some damage from. Rafinha. Miranda. Longley.
They have that patience as well, Mark. If they go to one side, they get blocked, they will comfortably come back and around to open, just to try to stretch Milan as a team so they can find passing avenues to go forward into front players. They never really force the issue. They're quite comfortable and patient in working, opening the width of the pitch.
Here's Malcolm. And looking for the return. Would have been a splendid goal, but it was very good covering from Alessio Romagnoli.
Romagnoli read the 1-2, and he had to, because, again, sharp play on the edge of the box. Malcolm playing the 1-2, sweeping the ball left, opening up, just starting to create those spaces that they can attack into the 18-yard box. Romagnoli very, very quick to cover his fellow centre-half.
Corner will be taken by Arthur. 10 minutes gone, Barcelona on top, but they haven't been able to make their dominance pay. Here's Suso on the counter. Was caught late there, advantage has been played. Kessie sends it back. Here's Franck Kessie again, first real time that he's had a chance to stretch his legs. Kessie's early deliveries, not bad. Real chance, must be. And they're asking for handball against Marlon Santos. It's not given. And it's sent behind for a corner by Juan Miranda. Well, from out of nowhere, Milan nearly ahead.
Kessie does well down the right. The ball pops out to Barini. I just thought maybe he took a little bit too long. He took a touch. He's trying to weigh up the situation. Fierce shot goes in. No intentional handball there from the defender blocking Barini's shot.
It's a first Milan corner of the game. Good delivery as well by Suso. And a bit of wrestling just outside the area. Good advantage played though, because Barca can certainly turn this into an advantage. Arthur, excellent pass, but Munir didn't make his run early enough.
Well, you see how quickly Barcelona can turn defence into attack. Looked vulnerable on a couple of occasions for the first time this evening defensively, but on the counter, Arthur just trying to cut the ball in behind the fullback for the run of Munir. Really good start to the game.
Longley. Here's Sergio Roberto. Semedo. Sergio Roberto. Now Arthur. Miranda goes for the early ball. And can't pick out Munir.
Yes, Rodriguez covering Romagnoli at that back post on this occasion.
Rafinha. Munir. Sergio Roberto. Rafinha looking for the angle, finds it now. Just too much on it for Malcolm.
But again, quite happy to interchange the players. Malcolm, I think, just pointing to Rafinha, wanted that ball on the inside rather than deep to the outside of the 18-yard box. Looking to play out again, Donnarumma. He's looking for his options.
Well, given the scorelines that the two sides have been involved in, you fancy that there might be goals in this game. Barcelona have scored 4 and conceded 6. And they have a free kick here, Milan, just to maybe have a chance to get their foot on the ball for a passage of play.
They need some possession. They just need to take the sting away from Barcelona. But you can see the way that they will come and press very, very quickly when out of possession.
Those goals that Barcelona have conceded have generally come after Ernesto Valverde's made a raft of substitutions, as you generally get in these pre-season encounters when they want to test as many players as they can. Milan with no such excuses really, because they've stuck with the same sort of nucleus of players for the majority of the matches they've played in.
I think we are getting to the stage where the teams and the coaches are starting to get more minutes into the players, that they're staying on the field for longer. That might well be the case this evening in this encounter.
Kessie has conceded the free kick there after going through the back of Sergio Roberto. Taken by Arthur. Sergio Roberto. Marlon Santos to Clement Longley. Miranda. Here is Malcolm. Longley, who was signed from Sevilla and then promptly had a £265 million release clause slapped on him by Barcelona.
He's going nowhere fast then.
Seem to remember there was some sort of golden handcuffs figure of that kind of amount for you, Clive, wasn't there?
I'm not so sure it was that much many years ago.
quarter of an hour played then, and it's goalless, but it's been a good watch. Miranda's throw. Sure, in your day as well, new signings weren't announced with all this kind of social media fanfare. Clement Lenglet's Twitter unveiling, if you haven't seen it, is something to behold. I wouldn't call it a work of art, but it's interesting. So if you have a few spare minutes, it's worth a brief watch. Whatever happened to the days of just holding a shirt in front of one of the stands, eh?
A shirt or a scarf. Welcome to your new club.
Milan playing out from the back again and finding themselves almost in trouble again. The thought that Gattuso may have sent the instructions out to just get rid of it when it's in and around their own box.
Well, because of the way Barcelona play as well, because they will press high, they'll come and engage early. That maybe you just have to play beyond that press. Just turn Barcelona around, send them back towards their own goal. It's not the prettiest, but sometimes it can be effective because you just nullify the threat that they have, putting pressure on you in your own final third.
Romagnoli hassled and harried and eventually fouled by Arthur. Poked on nicely for the chase here of Calabria. First opportunity for the fullback to get forwards. Got the cross in as well. Wasn't the ideal clearance, but it's worked its way into the path of Rafinha. Well, a lot of talk in the last couple of days about the addition of Gonzalo Higuain to the AC Milan ranks. It was interesting to see Gennaro Gattuso saying that nobody ever says no to AC Milan, despite the fact that they've obviously fallen down the pecking order in Italy in recent years. He feels that it's a sign of the stature they still hold, that a player of Higuain's calibre was happy to turn down the likes of Chelsea to make the move to the San Siro.
Yeah, I was interested to hear Higuain's comment saying that it was perhaps only Sarri at Chelsea that made it clear that he wanted Higuain, whereas it was a whole contingent of AC Milan. The whole club made it very, very obvious to him that they wanted him, they embraced him, and Higuain will be playing his football in Serie A for AC Milan next season. I think a great acquisition.
Puts the heat on the likes of Patrick Cutrone, who in the game against Tottenham had a couple of good chances for Gattuso's side, but failed to take them. But you can't beat keeping the squad on their toes, can you?
Competition for places. He's a young talent, is Cutrone, but Higuain comes with such a illustrious record, and I think he'll relish the opportunity of leading the line for AC Milan.
Here's Miranda for Barcelona. Sergio Roberto. And again, competition in the heart of the Barcelona midfield as well, with the addition of Arturo Vidal. Ernesto Valverde saying he knows he's not a typical Barcelona type midfielder, as Barcelona play some typical football, and Malcolm almost steers them in front.
Wonderful ball, and Malcolm just didn't get the contact required to finish it off. 6 yards out, brilliant pass, and he should be finishing that. Well-timed run, he got on the end of that diagonal pass, no contact on the strike.
He scored in their last game, Malcolm, should have scored in this one as well. Defending now for Barca to do. Suso. Kessie. It's a corner, but it could have been more.
Clever ball, just trying to ease that ball in behind that Barcelona defence through the 6-yard box. Again, just at full stretches, Malcolm doesn't get the side foot contact that he was hoping for to ease it past Donnarumma.
Taken short. Here's Çalhanoğlu, who hasn't really had the opportunity to make much of an impact in the game so far. He is the dead ball specialist for Milan, and that comes to nothing. Çalhanoğlu, who arrived with much fanfare, taking the number 10 shirt at Milan, which attracted a lot of attention. The Turkish international didn't really fire to start off with, but when Gattuso took over in November, he suddenly found his groove, and a couple of times against Tottenham we saw his ability with delivering the ball in. Cutrone failing to make the most of some excellent whipped passes into the penalty area.
Well, I think if you put Higuain on the end of some of those deliveries, and they really were fantastic passes from Çalhanoğlu, that Higuain will flourish.
Here's Suso now for Milan. Intelligent pass, but asking quite a lot of Cutrone, who's done excellently to keep it alive. Barca are also happy to play out from the back, but you just feel that they're a bit more competent at doing that. Although, as I say that, Silva had to gallop across.
Yeah, and there's not quite the pressure from Milan that Barcelona are exerting on to AC Milan when they have the ball. Totally dominating possession, as you can see, 67% Barcelona possession.
Well, midway through the first half, no knockout blows landed, but if you were scoring it like a boxing match, Barcelona massively ahead on points. And again, Milan persists with playing out from the back. This time Romagnoli has got it forwards and has got the free kick as well after Borini was upended. Borini takes it quickly to Cutrone, who
from the wrong place, Mark. That was the only thing. Quick thinking from Borini. Cutrone took off. Referee Mr. Toledo pulling it back.
Fabio Borini, who fans of English football will recall was on the books at Sunderland not that long ago. He joined Milan permanently after spending last season on loan with them from Sunderland. Was used as a wing-back to start off with before Gattuso switched to the 4-3-3 formation that he's favoured, and that allowed Borini to play in a more accustomed role for him further forwards. Here's Miranda, aiming for Malcolm, not quite finding him, cut out by Calabria. Kessie, Suso, back for Kessie, they've worked that well. Set up now for Çalhanoğlu, who left the ball behind, and then in trying to win it back has committed the foul.
Well, it's a good break, better play from Milan, 1- and 2-touch football. Çalhanoğlu just trying to create the shooting opportunity, but miscontrolling at the vital moment.
He says he's very happy playing in whatever position he is afforded by Gennaro Gattuso. He's operated in the hole, he's played as a wide man in a midfield three as well, behind the attackers.
It's all about getting him on the ball. When he's in possession of the ball as a front player, you know that he can deliver vital, important passes.
Munir got into a very promising position there, but his touch just deserted him. Sergio Roberto and Nelson Semedo working well. Sergio Roberto through for Arthur. Munir, nice trick. Nelson Semedo, Sergio Roberto. Sergio Roberto again. Clement Longley. Not quite worked on to Miranda. What do you make about those comments from Ernesto Valverde about Arturo Vidal? He was almost defending the signing of him, which is a remarkable state of affairs, isn't it, given that he's such a proven winner at the top level.
Yeah, I don't think you have to explain why you buy someone of Arturo Vidal's ability. He'll give Barcelona something a little bit different, whether it's that aggressive attacking midfield role that he plays. He arrives in the box late, can score goals, can certainly be a physical presence within that midfield for Barcelona. Something perhaps that they don't have. Lots of technical players. And Vidal will offer them a physicality as well.
Funnily enough, Vidal was a player that Milan were linked with as well. It's the sort of player you could really imagine fitting into a side managed by Gennaro Gattuso. He's almost like a younger version of him.
Absolutely. You can understand the appreciation that someone like Gattuso will have for Vidal. But Barcelona are the ones who have acquired his services.
Longley, ambitious, and Ricardo Rodriguez in the right place for Milan. Çalhanoğlu on the move. Arthur. Good strength, and he waited for the foul, which eventually came.
Yeah, Barini committing the foul. Arthur, really good strength on the ball, manipulating the ball, not allowing it to stand still for a split second.
Longley. Miranda rode the challenge brilliantly, and the whistle forthcoming.
I think it was Suso caught him. He's saying it was nothing to do with me, but it's a really positive run from the fullback, driving inside, drawing the challenge, winning the free kick.
Well, Donnarumma didn't look the most confident from the corner that was whipped in earlier on.
Well, from the early pressure that Barcelona exerted, they sort of lost their way after the initial few minutes. Donnarumma was definitely tested early. Well, there's a big area there for the ball to be delivered in through that penalty spot, 6-yard area.
Whipped in nicely as well by Malcolm, and not fully away, and the header's too close to Donnarumma. Çalhanoğlu. Forced to drop very deep. Here's Locatelli, who really influenced the game against Tottenham, but has barely had a kick so far. Shows you how dominant Barca have been in possession. Suso, dangerous! And Barca get away with it. Oh, from out of nothing. Almost a good chance that. It's a pretty good piece of work from Rafinha, meanwhile. Malcolm's in space, and here he is now. Sold Miranda pretty short with that pass.
Yeah, it was Cotrone who picked up the loose ball in the 18-yard box. He's trying to just feed it back. You can see. Pinches it in the 6-yard box. He's looking for support on the edge of the box. It's an aimless pass back. There's no one there to capitalise on the opportunity.
20-year-old scored 18 goals in all competitions for Milan last season. Is he going to have a chance here from Suso's delivery? Suso delaying, and delaying too long.
And he's done exactly the same as Cotrone. Position in the 18-yard box, played the ball aimlessly back. No support from Milan to their strikers.
Munir. Malcolm. Well, he was looking for Rafinha, but there's too much on it for him. Sergio Roberto. Arthur. Sergio Roberto. Enough legs on the pass to reach Malcolm, but it will be picked up by Miranda. Longley. Sergio Roberto. Aiming for Nelson Semedo, who left a bit of a mark on Ricardo Rodriguez, but no foul. Ricardo Rodriguez played every minute of Switzerland's 4 games at the World Cup, and started 34 times in Serie A for Milan last season. He has become a firm fixture in the side following his arrival from Wolfsburg in the Bundesliga. Half an hour played, no goals, but Barcelona have been asking pretty much all of the questions so far. Arthur sends it forwards. Munir on for Nelson Semedo, who's got plenty of pace, showing it here as well, and winning a corner.
I think it's Romagnoli again who's across well. That was a clever run from Semedo. He's making out, he's going down the touchline, cuts back inside, well found with the pass inside. Gets the toe away from Rodriguez. It's the captain again across to make a really important block tackle.
This will be his second season at Barcelona. Semedo says that he's hoping it'll be better than the one he had last year when he wasn't a guaranteed starter, but believes that he can push on at right back in the forthcoming campaign and establish himself in Ernesto Valverde's starting 11. And this is really an opportunity for those fringe players, given how many of the stellar star names for Barca are having a breather after their exertions at the World Cup.
And also that it's against quality opposition. It's not as if you're playing games that you're actually strolling through. You're exerting yourself, you're certainly trying to make a big impression on the coach.
Here's Miranda. Longley. Forwards by Santos. Semedo. Now Munir dropping deep and finding space and having a go and winning. Well, I was going to say winning a corner, but Donnarumma got across to prevent that.
Yeah, Kessie does well in the end to get a block.
Well, you can only see one winner at the moment. Musacchio, who is seen by many as the player most under threat by the deal to bring Caldera in from Juventus, who had such a good period on loan at Atalanta last season. Romagnoli, guaranteed starter at centre-back. But Matteo Musacchio, the Argentinian international who had limited game time last season, may have fancied his chances of establishing himself a bit more with Bonucci moving on to pastures new, but having arrived for 80 million euros from Villarreal last summer, might find his chances limited again if Caldera is installed as the first choice partner for Romagnoli. Here is Musacchio now. Calabria. Musacchio, risky, and could be costly, although the whistle has bailed him out there.
With Santos that catches Kalinoglu as that ball's played in on the diagonal. Just catching him as he's trying to control the ball from the diagonal pass. First lull in the game. It's been half an hour, been a game of good tempo and quality.
Not quite sure what the quality was there, though.
Too straight.
Milan started their pre-season with a 2-0 friendly win over second-tier side Novara 2 weeks ago before they travelled to the United States. Lost their mammoth penalty shootout to Manchester United in Pasadena last Thursday. And then a narrow loss to Tottenham in Minnesota through George Kevin Nkudu goal to nil. Only the one goal scored for them so far in the 2 and a bit matches they played in the International Champions Cup this summer. Although could easily have been a bit more had they taken their chances against Spurs.
Yeah, they certainly had opportunities. Cutrone really was the biggest culprit on not taking one or two that were clear cut. A couple of headed opportunities and one volley that he passed up.
Rafinha. Munir looking for options, not getting any. Nelson Semedo.
Mark, everyone's running away from him. You could see he's looking for an option to play the ball in and play off of someone.
Arthur! Cracking hit, and it's a decent save from Donnarumma.
Well, we know he can strike it, Arthur. He scored a magnificent goal in the previous game. This time, Donnarumma's up to his right-footed effort.
Intelligent pass, and Donnarumma just about stretched enough. Suso. Well, it was only a brief lull. Tempo is back, and it's a tempo that is playing into Barcelona's favour at the moment.
Yeah, they've taken back control of the game.
Sergio Roberto. And again. Bit of room for Miranda.
Gattuso prowling up and down in that technical area. He's kicking every ball, he's heading every cross. He's trying to get involved in the game, orchestrating his team.
Well, I saw him say that playing in these kind of games has to be a source of pride for his players, and he wants to see them show their character on the pitch.
Just such a difficult task. How, one, do you get the ball back off of Barcelona? When you do, you have to keep it. Because you know if you turn over possession of the ball, you're going to be chasing for long periods of the game just to try to retrieve it.
Here's Rafinha in a promising area, just behind Meunier. That's a foul. Çalhanoğlu takes it quickly. Kessie has helped it on. Suso on his own for now. Only Cutrone further forwards. Suso has to go back to Borini. Suso. Nice skill. Not a nice cross, though. Borini's off after it. Teasing delivery, but nobody in red and black in the area to aim for.
They just haven't been clinical in that penalty box. They have got the ball in there a few times. The final pass has been poor from Milan. As we see this Arthur shot again. Well saved by Donnarumma. Not quite in the corner. Comfortable for the big Milan goalkeeper.
Plenty of transfer speculation about the 19-year-old keeper. Chelsea, the latest club linked. He's had headlines written all about him since he burst onto the scene as a 17-year-old. He's definitely one of the most in-demand keepers around.
Well, he's a keeper of great experience at such a young age, 19 years of age. Been in the Milan side for a number of seasons now.
Well, the new sporting director, Leonardo, did say recently they haven't had any offers for him, but if they did receive a proposal, they would study it, which isn't the kind of hands-off message you get from most clubs.
It's definitely not for Sal, is it?
Nelson Semedo's quick, but he's not that quick. Now he has high hopes about the forthcoming season, to force his way into the reckoning on a regular basis in the big games. A whole host of youngsters on the Barcelona bench, and we're expecting to be wholesale changes at half-time or perhaps the 60-minute mark. That's certainly been the pattern for Ernesto Valverde in Barcelona's pre-season encounters. They get their campaign underway in the Spanish Super Cup when they take on Sevilla, the winners of the Copa del Rey. And then they have a somewhat random friendly against Boca Juniors in between that Super Cup game on Sunday and the start of the La Liga season, when they face Alaves the following Saturday. Seen as odds-on favourites to retain their La Liga title, given the exit of Cristiano Ronaldo from Real Madrid and the potential exit of Luka Modric as well. Miranda. Also the additions of the likes of Malcolm and Arthur and Longley have strengthened their hand. Many feel that Madrid are a somewhat weakened entity, which you would do if you're losing the services of one of the finest players ever.
Well, one of the greatest goal scorers ever, and all those goals out your team.
Chance, and off the post from Malcolm.
Just
Got a touch on the way through.
Just took a deflection. I think Malcolm's shot is going into the far corner before the slight deflection onto the far upright.
Well, he scored in the last game. He passed up a good chance already in this one and has now come within inches of finding the net again. Romagnoli's clearance. Rodriguez gets further distance on it. Çalhanoğlu now. Milan have played that out from the back nicely, but Cursor, the commentator, strikes, and there is the strike just wide. Well, once again, Milan, their own worst enemies.
Well, it's Locatelli that's dispossessed. Rodriguez plays the ball. Munir robs Locatelli of the ball. This is Malcolm's strike. We see as it just comes back here, the touch off of Musacchio, and then shot fired in from Munir, just wide of Donnarumma's goal. Barca certainly coming the closest to opening the scoring.
Here's Calabria. Be a real sucker punch for Barcelona if Milan were to nick one just before the break, given how utterly dominant they've been for the most part. Arthur. On Santos to Clement Longley. Sergio Roberto. And again, on for Nelson Semedo. Real swagger and rhythm about Barcelona.
Well, nothing changes, does it, Mark? It doesn't matter who the personnel are, they're detailed to play in exactly the same way.
Munir, good ball. Milan survive. They could really do with half-time.
You just expect the pressure to tell. Barcelona haven't changed, still passing through their ranks, looking to create the goal-scoring opportunities.
Romagnoli. Locatelli, who, as I was mentioning earlier, was such a focal point for Milan against Spurs, but has hardly had a kick so far. Suso now. He's going to have a kick at goal, but never really caught hold of it. Miranda. That's a foul.
Yeah, referee having a word with Suso. Once again, he's catching Miranda as he's running away from him.
Another very good crowd in at the stadium today, and the matches have attracted some record-breaking crowds, including the largest recorded attendance for a football match in the United States as well. And it's only going to get bigger. Throw will be taken by Calabria, just waiting to see how much additional time there'll be at the end of an absorbing first half. Kessie, Calabria, Sergio Roberto in the right place for Barcelona, as he so often is. Malcolm's throw.
He's probably had the best chance of the first half. It looks like it's going to go in all square at 0-0.
And indeed, the referee does bring the first half proceedings to a close. All square at the break, but Barcelona will feel they should have the advantage.
Yep, dominated possession, had the better chances. Donnarumma called upon very early, but not able to capitalise on all that possession, Barcelona.
Well, Neither team has managed to win a match in 90 minutes during this summer's International Champions Cup, and they can't be separated at the break. Half-time, Milan 0, Barcelona 0.